Hello everyone. Are you busy these days or are you just idling away your time? 最近忙吗？还是闲得无聊？ Well, you might be saying to yourself, What's wrong with the teacher today? 老师今天怎么回事？现在这个时代还有闲人吗？谁不是忙得四脚朝天的？ Well, don't arrive at a conclusion too quickly. In lesson 68, we shall come across a guy who is always looking for ways to kill time. But first, keywords and expressions. Persistent, avoid, insist, dentist. 还记得吗？我们前面两课的生词都特别多，这一次总算能喘口气了。Now let's sit back and enjoy the story. 请谨记下面三个问题。Why did the author never enjoy meeting Nigel? 作者为什么总不喜欢见到 Nigel? What was Nigel wondering? Nigel 那会儿正在想什么呢？ Why did the author lie? 作者为什么要撒谎？
I crossed the street to avoid meeting him, but he saw me and came running towards me. It was no use pretending that I had not seen him, so I waved to him. I never enjoy meeting Nigel Dykes. He never has anything to do. No matter how busy you are, he always insists on coming with you. I had to think of a way of preventing him from following me around all morning. "Hello, Nigel," I said. "Fancy meeting you here." "Hi, Elizabeth," Nigel answered. "I was just wondering how to spend the morning until I saw you. You're not busy doing anything, are you?" "No, not at all," I answered. "I'm going to—" "Would you mind my coming with you?" he asked before I had finished speaking. "Not at all," I lied. "But I'm going to the dentist." "Then I'll come with you," he answered. "There's always plenty to read in the waiting room."
That's a nice story, isn't it? I wonder what Nigel does for a living. You can't just follow people around and expect to be paid for that. 我真的很纳闷，Nigel 到底以什么为生？你不可能一天到晚跟着别人瞎转悠，还指望别人发给你工资。But that's not our concern here. 我们还是来看看前面的问题，大家有没有准备好答案？我们的第一个问题是 Why did the author never enjoy meeting Nigel? 原因是 Because he never has anything to do and always insists on coming with you. 原来这位 Nigel 从来没有什么正事儿可做，总是要跟着别人瞎转。第二个问题 What was Nigel wondering? He was wondering how to spend the morning. 他正在为如何打发那个上午而犯愁呢。最后一个问题 Why did the author lie? She lied she was going to the dentist because she wanted to prevent Nigel from following her around all morning. 作者撒谎说他要去看牙医，因为他不想让 Nigel 整个上午都跟着自己乱转。Well, did that strategy work? Unfortunately, no. Nigel was delighted to hear that Elizabeth was going to the dentist because there's always plenty to read in the waiting room. Poor Elizabeth. We can imagine her frustration. 我们可以想象作者的沮丧心情。好，下面让我们来看看课文中的语言点。 首先，请看这句话 ：I crossed the street to avoid meeting him。在这句话中出现了 avoid， 它的意思是避开做某事。又比如 ，Thomas turned his head, trying to avoid looking at her。Thomas 掉过头，以避免看她。还有 ，You must avoid giving any unnecessary information。你必须避免提供不必要的信息。再请看第二个语言点。It was no use pretending that I had not seen him。要装作没看见他是没用的。It is no use doing something 的意思是做什么事情没有用。请多看几个例句。It's no use being much more accurate than that。做的比那个还要精确是没有用的。It is no use arguing with you。跟你争也没有用。It's no use you're worrying about me。你就是为我担心也没有用。好，下面我们来看来自课文的第三个语言点。No matter how busy you are, he always insists on coming with you。首先来关注 no matter。No matter 后面经常跟 how、when、where、what、who 等词，可以译成无论怎么样。又比如 I told him to report to me after the job was completed, no matter how late it was。我告诉他，工作完成之后就向我汇报，无论多晚都要汇报。Brown shirts are never smart, no matter who's wearing them。棕色的衬衣总是不好看，无论谁穿都一样。They smiled almost continuously, no matter what was said。他们几乎不停地笑，无论说什么都笑。那么这句话中还有一个 insist on 这个词组，它的意思是坚持做什么。又比如 He insisted on paying for the meal。他坚持要付饭钱。Most universities insisted on an interview before they accept a student。大多数学校在接收学生之前，坚持要做一个面试。I insisted on a contract that gave me some sort of security。我坚持要签署一份能给我一定安全感的合同。下面我们来看看第四个语言点。I had to think of a way of preventing him from following me around all morning。在这句话中出现了 prevent somebody from doing something 这个表达法，它的意思是阻止某人做某事。请多看两个例句。My only idea was to prevent him from speaking。我唯一的想法是要阻止他说话。Cotton mittens will prevent the baby from scratching his own face。棉质的手套可以阻止婴儿抓伤自己的脸。课文中还有这样一句话 Fancy meeting you here， 意思是想不到在这里碰到你。那么大家要记住，这句话已经基本上成为一个固定的说法，可以用于比较熟悉的朋友在意外见面的时候打招呼用。下面我们来看看课文中最后一个语言点 You are not busy doing anything, are you？ 你不忙是吧？这是一个反义疑问句，由陈述句加上简略的疑问句构成。如果陈述句是肯定的， 那么后面的疑问句要用否定形式。反之，如果陈述句是否定的，疑问句就要用肯定形式。请大家再看几个例子。He's British, isn't he? 他是英国人，是吗？ He doesn't speak good English, does he? 他的英语说得不好，是吗？这就是课文中的6个语言点，我们简单介绍到这儿。本课课文中还出现了不少动词后面再加动词 ing 形式的表达法，我们对这个再做进一步的分析。让我们先来挑出课文中相关的几句话。I crossed the street to avoid meeting him. 我穿过街道以避免碰上他。Avoid 后面接的是 meeting 动词 ing 形式。I never enjoy meeting Nigel Dykes. 我从来都不喜欢见到 Nigel。Enjoy 后面也接的是动词 ing 形式。Fancy meeting you here. 想不到在这儿碰上你。Would you mind my coming with you? He asked, before I had finished speaking. 我还没有来得及说完，他就问，我跟你一起去，你不介意吧？总结这4句话，我们会发现 avoid, enjoy, fancy, mind 和 finish 这5个动词后面都可以接动词 ing 形式来做宾语。那么可以接动词 ing 形式做宾语的动词远不止这5个。我们再看另外一些动词。He admitted making the mistake. 他承认犯了这个错误。She dreads getting old. 她很害怕变老。She loathes being asked to parties. 她很讨厌被邀去参加各种聚会。I don't anticipate meeting any opposition. 我认为不会遇上什么反对意见。Mother suggests having a barbecue party this weekend. 母亲建议说，这个周末来一个烤肉聚餐。在这5个例句中，我们看到 admit、dread、loathe、anticipate 和 suggest， 它们也是后面可以接动词 ing 形式来做宾语的动词。好，这就是我们对课文中带动词 ing 形式做宾语的动词的总结。那么本课讲述了一个富贵闲人 Nigel。He never has anything to do. He always follows other people around. Now, suppose someday you didn't have to work for a living. Then what would you do? 假设有一日你也可以成为富贵闲人，那么你会干什么呢？ Okay, that's all for this lesson. Thank you, and see you next time.